Okay, so today we are going to talk about companies and how they actually use virtual worlds such as Second Life and OpenSim to host meetings. And the first question is, do you think it's acceptable for companies to use virtual worlds such as Second Life for meetings?
Okay, I think companies can choose any number of ways to conduct meetings. The Second Life world comes with numerous problems, beginning with the program itself. Users would have to be on the same system because incompatibility runs high if operating systems and browsers aren't configured correctly. Well, that seems obvious. It can present difficulties for Mac users. When I was working with Second Life, I had incredible problems just having my avatar load. Bandwidth issues are another problem because Second Life is very graphics heavy, and that causes very slow load times.
I think that is absolutely acceptable for companies to use virtual worlds for meetings. Most companies just don't have the money anymore to fly people in for face-to-face meetings when it's necessary. So companies who use virtual worlds such as Second Life don't have to worry about that anymore. Also, companies like IBM say that the use of virtual worlds for meetings can help boost creativity, something that you may not see in face-to-face meetings. So again, I think that it is absolutely acceptable to use virtual worlds for meetings. Question two, should companies establish rules and guidelines for meetings in virtual worlds?
Well, rules are absolutely necessary, particularly for virtual world scenarios. With anonymity, behaviors can run amok. Second Life restricts use if an extensive list of conduct rules aren't observed. A disclaimer, liability limits, and indemnification follows stating, and then they on their terms of agreement, they go on to say, you, user, agree not to hold Linden Lab liable for the content. Linden Lab is the service provider, liable for the content, actions, or inactions of other users. As a condition of access to the service, you release Linden Lab and its officers, directors, shareholders, agents, subsidies, and employees from claims, demands, losses, liabilities, and damages, actual and consequential, of every kind and nature, known and unknown, arising out of or in any way connected with any disputes you have or claim to have with one or more users, including whether or not Linden Lab becomes involved in any resolution or attempted resolution of the dispute. This disclaimer exonerates site owners from monetary disputes, slander, misrepresentation disputes, which for a site made up of avatars can run high. Second Life promotes multiplayer online role-playing games complete with commerce. According to New Business Horizons, a Second Life full-service provider, the business opportunities include the following industries: the art world, promotions, conferencing, media distribution, demo prototyping, and many more. Companies found on the Second Life portal are some pretty big hitters, and they include Microsoft, Major League Baseball, MTV, NBA, IBM, Sony, American Apparel, Coca-Cola, Coldwell Banker, and more.
In order for meetings to be successful in virtual worlds, there should be guidelines and rules that would be followed. According to Navat.com, companies should treat meetings in virtual worlds the same way that they should treat face-to-face meetings. IBM recently released a cheat sheet of rules for their 5,000 plus workers who use virtual worlds for meeting new clients, hiring, meetings with coworkers, and more. The first thing to remember is how your avatar is dressed. An individual should dress their avatar in a way that should be considered professional, or at least not distracting to another person. Employees using virtual worlds should not share intellectual information with unauthorized users. And finally, everyone should refrain from using any sort of harassment or discrimination against other people while conducting business via virtual worlds. If every company released a set of rules like IBM, finally, are there any downfalls to using virtual worlds for company meetings?
I'd say the biggest downfall is licensing. Linden Lab, developer of Second Life, has very specific licensing and intellectual property rights to all content uploaded on the site. Once you agree to the Second Life terms of service, your artwork, music, written works become Second Life property under the service content license. New terms were set in August 2013 and say Linden Labs gets rights to do anything it wants to uploaded content, not just within the Second Life platform, to allow residents to use the content, and not just on its website to promote Second Life, but for any purpose whatsoever in all formats or in any other media, software, formula, or medium now known or hereafter developed. And that includes the right to sell, resell, sublicense, modify, display, and make derivative works of. I think for companies who conduct real business on the Second Life site, that would be a major concern, because your creations belong to you, and if you're putting them on that platform and they're saying they can resell them, then they're basically taking something that belongs to you and making a profit off of it.
Well, there can certainly be downfalls to using virtual worlds. However, it should not prevent companies from using them for meetings. According to CIO, some companies have moved from using Second Life to OpenSim. Dick Dillon, Senior Vice President for Planning and Development, said that they liked the immersiveness of Second Life, but they didn't like the public nature for their department, which deals with rehabilitation of drugs and alcohol use. Robert Scott, managing partner at a Texas-based intellectual property and technology law firm, said that he was giving a presentation to attorneys on IBM's island in Second Life when an inappropriately addressed avatar walked up. Scott said that the avatar started a romantic overture with his avatar. And a lot of reasons why that companies are moving from Second Life to OpenSim is because OpenSim doesn't allow outsiders to have access. And Dillon says that the company has the right to comply with confidentiality regulations. So I think that once the issue of privacy is addressed, such as the issues that people run into using Second Life, I think that eventually using virtual worlds for company meetings is going to be second nature. It's just going to be like picking up the phone and calling someone, or meeting with them face to face, or Skyping with them. I think it's just going to be one more way of communication. I just think that it allows people to be more creative and sort of shake up, the mundane organization of meetings. So.
Well, I guess it will remain to be seen, how that industry grows over time. It seems to have held its own for I think they've been around for about 10 years. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it continues to grow. Thank you.